JC 200 feels surprisingly better than I anticipated. Okay, I'm very impressed, Jincheng.
So, apologies in advance. In the video I kept saying Jincheng because that's what I thought it was while I was riding it. I had just assumed that instead of asking. That is very illegal right now in free and fair democratic countries. I only asked how many cc's it is, and that was it.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. Bruh. It is ma'am. Bruh.
This is by far the most impressive 200cc that I've ridden in a while. What is up, my peeps? Welcome back to yet another amazing video. Please consider subscribing. We're almost at 1 million subs. Thank you very much. You do feel the low-end torque of the bike. It's not lazy in any way.
I was expecting to be very disappointed. Surprisingly very nice, very nice.
The bike comes with a 198cc single-cylinder 4-stroke engine that produces 14 horsepower and 11 Newton meters of torque. I believe these aren't fake numbers because you do feel the bike actually giving you that power. Unfortunately for the top speed, I didn't have the chance to test it. I was pretty nervous to let my friend here test the open road on the not very pocket-friendly CB1000.
Uzuri watu wanawaona. Usiguse mafuta. Wewe. Kwani uko gia ngapi?
Bruh.
Okay. This thing compared to something like this 1K is barely anything. So it's very good to be cautious if you're giving someone your bike. That's why I've given him on this route, because I know there's nowhere he's going to go full throttle because of the everything, the bumps, the traffic.
Yeah, that gave me the chills. Low-siding that beast will be very expensive. Speaking of which, this is the poor man's sport bike.
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
They were being sold by Captain Motors here in Kenya, but they stopped for whatever reason. Probably because they weren't selling as much, even though they were selling quite a bit. Just like the poor man's cruiser, the Everlast Cougar and the levered Lego 150. But I think they're back if I'm not wrong. Someone down in the comments, inform us. I know you're out there with all the knowledge. I do know the spares are quite cheap. Availability, I'm not really sure about that. I think you'll be fine for the most part, because these days, even importing, as much of a pain in the ass as it is, it's not impossible. I also know that it can do 120. I've seen 127 km per hour on YouTube, which is very good for a 200cc. This bike destroyed the Haujin Warrior on the Sobea drag race. I've also raced someone who now owns an R1. It was pretty close, but the Warrior could never overtake the Dayun Flash. Unfortunately, it was during the era for which I was using the Akaso, and I lost all the footage. So just take my word for it, I'm a very honest guy. So it's very comparable to the Rally 250 and the Levered 250 GY. The bike is quite comfortable, very upright ergonomics. That's something that I really love as an old person with a terrible back, and obviously for long journeys. The bike is quite nimble, not as much as I expected though. Maybe I was just spoiled by the Jigsaw SF, I don't know. As for finances, besides the cheap spare parts, the bike is a 200cc, so I don't think fuel economy will be a problem. It is, however, carbureted, so there's that. The last time the price was updated, it was 190,000 Kenya shillings brand new. That was around 3 years ago, before we had a dictator. We were eating pretty good. With how things are going right now, I don't think it will be anywhere below 240,000 Kenya shillings. Someone again down in the comments, inform us. If it is below 240,000, call me surprised. The review ends here, just go buy the damn thing. Disc brake for both front and rear tires. They weren't anything special, they were just okay.
The brakes are sufficient. They're not very sharp and they're not very shit.
The suspensions were amazing. I love me some good suspensions. They were much better than its immediate competitor, the Hero Charisma ZMR. I would argue even better than the Taro GP250. They felt pretty sturdy, but not hard. I would actually compare this to the Ninja 300. Not as good, but they were pretty damn close.
Even the suspensions, the acceleration, very nice.
You can't take this off-road. Oh, but it's not an off-road bike, as some of you will say. But I don't know if that means that the moment the pavement ends, I disembark on the bike and start pushing, or... Anyway. Electric start, obviously. No kickstart. Boo. Even the Japanese has one. Very good build quality. This stood out for me. This is something that you will notice once you get on the bike. The bike is very assertive, very smooth controls. I don't know why the bike isn't more popular, because it's actually a pretty good bike. Approved. Stay safe, ride safe.
Umepita hivyo sasa hivi. Eh. Okay. JC200 feels surprisingly better than I anticipated. I love that sound. These are not side mirrors. I don't know what even they are here for. Okay, I'm very impressed, Jincheng. I was expecting to be very disappointed. Surprisingly, very nice, very nice. Even the suspensions, the acceleration, very nice. I will always have a negative attitude towards Jincheng. I don't know if it's one of the first Chinese bikes to take prominence in this country. They never had a good reputation, just like the original smartphones. The brakes are sufficient. They're not very sharp and they're not very shit. Sijui njia. Where are we going? Sijui njia mimi. Sijui njia. Unajua njia? Nimeona kama umepita huku. Umeona bike nyingi zimepita huku? Okay, sawa. Ati? Hata sikusikii unasema? Matembezi tu. What the? It's a good thing when there are so many bikers, everyone just sees them. We can just ask every junction which direction they are headed to. Jincheng, I'm surprised. I was actually surprised with the GY. Majamaa wapi? Sawa. Uzuri watu wanawaona. Usiguse mafuta. Wewe. Kwani uko gia ngapi? Okay, this bike is pretty okay. This bike is very good. I have lifted my hands up, Jincheng. Your 200 GY was surprising. And now this one. The only problems will come with things like reliability. I don't know about fuel consumption, but they say it's pretty okay. Something this week with such long gears. I'm very surprised, very surprised. Gin cheesy, gin cheesy, gin cheesy. Mshatosheka? Mnageuka? Mnageuka hivi? Mnageuka? Oh. Fake. 31,000 kilometers. Even recording.